Before we started this session, there was the interference of a spirit who wanted to participate with us in this work. There was a friendly and very useful conversation. But in our work, there is an order, a planning, a direction. So that order should not be disrupted. Good evening, Master. As we are making these sessions a democratic space, things like this will occur during our sessions, because we are giving an opening to as many spirits of light as possible, including spirits that are not part of our brotherhood. We are giving these spirits a chance to speak up, but it is important to maintain order. So, we ask those in charge of other brotherhoods to guide their members who want to help us in these sessions. Situations like this cannot be repeated, okay? It is important to emphasize that in the work we are doing, as we have mentioned in other sessions, we will listen to the brotherhoods who want to help us. All brotherhoods that want to help us need to organize themselves so that the work can be conducted in the best way possible. So I ask the responsible mentors of all brotherhoods to help us maintain an organization in the work. Thank you. It is important to emphasize again that this work is being done for people who already have a certain experience. So, really, the people who are not prepared to receive this information will find it somewhat absurd. It was so with Jesus Christ and with other human beings of light that had difficulty transmitting divine truths to the people of their time. For those who are not prepared, we can be considered even as dreamers, unrealistic, that we are having daydreams. But we are sure that this work is a serious, assertive job, a job that will really bring long-term benefits to all humanity. Many things that were considered an illusion at the time of its dissemination today are considered a reality. So will our work. With that being said, we can start our session. It is important to mention that we have a set time for the work, but today, on account of these events, I ask Master Tanaka's permission to extend our session a little further. Alright, let us get started. Today, we will talk a little more about the impacts of stars on human life. It is known that we have on Earth the discipline of astrology that studies the position of the stars and how this position of the stars influence life on Earth. I must tell you that this really is a fact, but people who call themselves experts on Earth, like many people in many different branches, use knowledge or the lack of knowledge for their own benefit. But these people's actions are very grotesque. Therefore, it is easy to distinguish those who really have knowledge about the influence of the stars in the lives of people and in the life of humanity as a whole, and those charlatans. The energy emanating from stars like the sun, the moon, and some planets really influence every planet in our system. In fact, we can say that there is a remarkably close connection between all the stars in the entire universe. It is important to mention that beyond our universe, there are several other universes. A finite number, but there are several universes. It is important to mention that there are energies in all these stars of all universes. Evidently, the human being of the earth, because he has a limited spectrum of hearing, vision, and other feelings, cannot capture the energies sent from the stars. But energy exists and is always on the move. Soon, the human being will have more information about the impact or influence of all other beings in relation to humanity. There is an apprehension from the part of the Ascended Masters that by disseminating information about energy to human beings, there will be an extremely great impact on the lives of all of them, which can change the course of humanity. Therefore, the information is being disclosed very slowly and gradually, so that the impacts are the smallest possible. It has been said that some qualified people will receive this information and will gradually disseminate this information using their sensitivity, so that there are no negative impacts on the lives of ordinary human beings. As stated in other sessions, a great leap for humanity will be made with the revelation of the possibility of the human being through the modification of energies to do things that they currently do not, as is the case of levitation and teleportation. However, the Ascended Masters tell us that these two physical actions will be what awakens humanity. This will be the first step of what the Ascended Masters call a jump to a higher state of humanity. This leap will take place little by little, with certain hand-picked human beings, prepared gradually to perform these actions naturally, and disclosing these actions also in a slow manner in order not to harm humanity as a whole, nor bring a negative fuss. Several groups of people are being prepared. As well as Master Tanaka's nucleus, we have other nucleuses around the world that will soon be able to perform the actions mentioned. Just like this step is being planned at this time, all the great leaps of humanity have been carried out in the same way. It is known that the evolution of the human being until the thinking human being was done gradually, in a planned way, in order to reach the entire planet Earth at the same time. Therefore, it is possible to identify the appearance of several intelligent beings at the same time, but in different locations on Earth's crust. Gradually, this message is being shared with scientists, and this is being spread in the scientific community. Another great leap already mentioned here will be the evolution of medicine. It is important to mention that gradually, as Master Tanaka disclosed nicely, human beings who have the scientific healing ability and who have been preparing for several lives will progressively receive the influence of spirits of light for the healing of their patients. Clearly, the patient, through the universal law, must have the merit for this cure. And of course, deserving comes through his actions. Actions in one's current life and actions in other lives, so that they are worthy of this healing. With the following words, we would like to make a summary of all the sessions we have done so far. We have talked about the structure of human beings. We have talked about the chakras and the 7 bodies. We have talked about energy. We have talked about the influence of energy on human beings. And all this culminates in a leap that will be made in regard to the evolution of medicine and evolution in regard to the movement actions of the human being. It is obvious that when the human being has a satisfactory energy level, he is capable of differentiated actions. Again, as we already mentioned, with the combined content of all sessions through meditation, prayer, faith in God, the energies of human beings will rise, and only human beings who can raise the energy will be able to make that leap. Master Tanaka, I would like to ask if I'm being clear with my statements. Yes, I understand very well. Okay, well done. As mentioned earlier, there are other groups that are also acting, which are also receiving information elsewhere in the world for this step of humanity to be taken. We mentioned Master Gabriel Silva, who also resides in Latin America, and whose first contact has already been made. And we would like this contact to be deepened so that you exchange information and remain in the same level of energy, okay? Soon we will make it possible to create situations so that this communication is closer. Be prepared, follow your intuitions, and in this way we will send energies through your consciences so that these bonds are continuously stronger and closer. As your energy rises and you become closer to Christ consciousness, we can work with other tasks, with other activities. Therefore, Master Tanaka, I ask you to direct the people of your group to enhance the meditations so that the energy is even higher. Only then will we be able to continue on with the other actions. Have I been clear, Master? Yes. Okay, well done. Therefore, it is possible to observe that people who already work with the healing of other human beings will begin to advance in their healing process. We are not referring to healing debilitated people, but rather to be able to raise the energy of human beings who already have a declared ability to rise spiritually, who are already at a higher level of Christ consciousness, of spiritual consciousness. It is with these people that we want to work, so that gradually they can take the necessary steps towards the evolution of humanity. Soon you will also receive news from other groups, as well as Gabriel Silva's group. We will put you in touch with other groups, okay? Soon, Master Tanaka, we will also disclose this information, and you will have a great job of disseminating this information to various groups, starting locally and then expanding until it reaches the entire planet. So it is important that your group is elevated spiritually and able to do the levitation and teleportation actions to awaken this knowledge in others. These actions will be the calling card for all groups that have a certain spiritual evolution. Yoga groups, spiritual and meditation groups, groups of people who are at the highest level of understanding, Individuals who are at the top of their religions will also be contacted so that we can make this information available. In our planning, these groups of people are being prepared in order to open their minds to these new actions so that they are more open to receive this information. In other words, we are preparing them to be more receptive to these actions and not react negatively when presented this information, okay? Therefore, Master, many works will come as these messages reach a wider range of people who are being awakened. Again, for this to be possible, the big step would be to start these actions with small groups, okay? Another important thing is also to train telepathy. It is known that communication between human beings through thoughts is fully possible and is already being carried out in some other groups. It would be a great opportunity for us to train this skill, as there is a great distance between the channel and Master Tanaka. These experiences will be of great use in our work because it will be natural to distance yourselves physically as the work progresses. I suggest you study these techniques further and start to practice them. Now I open space for all the spirits of light present here to manifest themselves in a democratic way, in an organized way, to contribute to this topic that we have just discussed. I thank the presence of all beings of light and our great mentor, who is doing a magnificent job. Statement 1. I want to contribute here a little talking about the experience we had on our planet. Following the rules of the group, we will not mention names nor places, but we lived an experience remarkably similar to yours. It was an experience that had highs and lows, had many problems, but also lots of success. I can say that on our planet, we also lived a material life, and because of our free will, we remained with these dense bodies, and gradually the physical bodies could evolve and evolve more and more. We had a gradual evolution, and I can mention here today that our bodies are much more subtle than they used to be. We learned to master the elevation of energies. As a result, our physical bodies did not require so much density. We can say that it was a difficult period, a period of many changes, a period where we had many contradictions because of material interests, mainly because of groups of people with specific interests, which prevented evolution, because evolution brought them economic problems, power problems, etc. And I believe that these problems will also happen here on Earth. We can mention, for example, the pharmaceutical industry that generates millions, and that with the elevation of the energies of humans, these medications will fall into disuse, because with the increase of energy, humans will be able to activate their chakras in order to enable self-healing to occur. People will have control over their own organs, over their entire human body through energy. So many diseases will be self-healed, and the drug industry, as well as the cigarette industry, alcohol, and chemical industries will gradually end up. The more human energy is raised, the less human beings will consume these types of products. With a continuously higher awareness and Christ consciousness, human beings will have fewer addictions, less and less need for substances which separates them from reality. Because reality for sane people is a reality that one does not need to escape from. On the contrary, the greater the awareness of the true reality, the greater the sense of contentment, the greater the desire to help other human beings in order to rise as well. A lot of problems will come up with that. People who control these markets will not be pleased. But the problem of misunderstanding among human beings tends to be minimized. That is what happened to our planet, and I am sure it will happen to planet Earth as well. And it has happened to several other planets in our universe. It is a cycle of evolution of the universe. Are we going to have any other problems? Yes. We can discuss these problems a little more if you wish. I will always be at your disposal. Without fake modesty, I can say that our experiences were extraordinarily successful, but they required a great sacrifice of all human beings of our planet. So, without fake modesty, I tell you that you can go through this, and I think I can help your planet a lot from my experience, and I am available for that with the utmost pleasure. I appreciate the possibility of spreading these words to you. I really appreciate it. I am honored to be part of this group that wants the evolution of humanity. And I congratulate our mentor on this great initiative. Thank you all so much. Mentor. I am grateful to our brother who is on a higher level and still here to grace us with his experience and demonstrate to all of you that these actions are fully possible. For those who still have doubts, using the words of our colleague, I assure you that this happens on all evolving planets. God, in His infinite mercy, wants all planets, all people to evolve. And that evolution depends only on the people who inhabit these planets. Spirituality, the White Brotherhood, and beings of light who promote this evolution and who have promoted actions exactly like these on various planets will always be ready to help everyone. They will always be ready. I hope that these words will be spread to all human beings. So disclose this to your subordinates so that the people who are part of their groups have faith and that this evolution has no way backwards. Never doubt the capacity of our brotherhood and all other brotherhoods. Let this be clear to all spheres. We need the help of all in an organized way, in a didactic way. May high energy always be the one that determines the existence of each spiritual group. We can never let low energies strike us. Well, everyone, may this session be a lesson to all of you. Remember that we are hand-picked beings with a great task. A difficult task, but like it or not, that task will be accomplished. We count on the collaboration of all. We count on everyone's energy. May our energy always be high, always be the best energy possible. Many thanks to all you spirits of light. Have a great week. So be it. Thank God.